College basketball from San Diego on CBS Sports Network, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. Halftime, San Diego State 42-34. Hi everybody, Rich Waltz along with Dan Dickow. This is a complete opposite from late January when Utah State in Logan dominated that game and won by 18.
Yeah, in that game, Utah State got off to a tremendous start of the second half and then kind of spaced the game out a little bit from there. But when San Diego State has a lead, they're almost unbeatable.
Yeah, well, defensively, they've been playing well. You know, the other thing they've done is they've shared the basketball.
And sharing is 100% what they did in that first half. 11 assists in that first half. On the season, they don't even average 12 per game. So a terrific job for the Aztecs. But for Utah State, they need more of this man. Justin Bean gets to his spot, the soft touch on the little fadeaway, but he is so good at understanding spacing, whether it's getting to the three-point line or cutting in an opportunity.
When the coaches grab the stat sheet for halftime, and they both do, where do their eyes go first in this one?
Well, for Utah State, you got to look at the number of 57% from the field for San Diego State. They're a team that struggles to score at times. You've got to drive that number down if you're going to get back in the game.
Mountain West play. Matt Bradley is averaging 20 a game, and the challenge for Brian Dutcher is finding somebody else to score. Look at the disparity between Bradley and everybody else, and that's holding suit right now. Now, Bradley's on pace for 32, and they're getting good bench scoring as well. Here we go. Utah State. I'm sure it was a heated halftime chat. Horvath misses almost everything there. And Ashworth and Pulliam square off. That's a held ball. And that's going San Diego State's way.
Well, Horvath coming off a game in their last outing with 29 points. He has been the focal point, I think, for the Aztecs on the defensive end of the floor. They've made life very difficult for him. He hasn't been able to use his skill set. They've done a nice job of being physical with him.
First possession for the Aztecs. Butler, Mensah with a screen. Keyshawn Johnson's back in. Bairstow with a block. Rather, Horvath with a block. And it stays with the Aztecs. Good news if you're the Aztecs, and if you're Utah State, actually. New Mexico has taken down Wyoming tonight in the Mountain West.
What a topsy-turvy Mountain West conference we have this year.
Johnson was on the bench with foul trouble. And scoring from the paint, that's something that Brian Dutcher at practice really stressed to his team. And they've done it well tonight. They've got 20 points in the paint.
Points in the paint can come in a number of different ways. Layups in transition, post-up opportunities, offensive rebounds. They've gotten a nice mix of all three of those.
Idle Rock getting to the glass and scoring. But I guess the flip side is Utah State needs points from someone other than Justin Bean if they're going to make a sustained run here. Pulliam, a floater, Bean the rebound. Not a lot of fast break opportunities for either team. Ashworth kicks, Idle Rock fires. Mensah had great position, and he bounces it off of Bean. And which way does it go? It stays with Utah State.
Looked as if the ball was batted back, and it hit Mensah.
Oh, it hit Bean.
Oh,
right
Mensah batted it back off Bean. That should have been Aztec ball. Crowd had every right to be upset on that one.
Ashworth, Horvath, they might have a great first half. Shot box down. Bairstow forced it. Maxey with the rebound.
This right here is some of San Diego State's best offense. Drag screens in transition for Matt Bradley because they struggle at times in the half court other than isolations for him.
Bean had a block. Johnson got a second chance. And the lead has stretched back to 10. 7 was the largest lead. Horvath. Look at Bean get a hand on it to keep the possession alive. Missed the jumper. Horvath and rebound. Sequence of offensive rebounds. Utah State needs to cash in, and they do with Horvath. And you can see the offensive rebounds now dead even.
Nice job of being patient there from Horvath after he corralled the offensive rebounds. Many times you guys will be in a hurry in that situation.
Utah State's going to get the basketball down 8.
Both teams, nice job of second chance opportunities to start this half. First Keshad Johnson, and then Horvath after the offensive rebound. Takes his time, and then the skill with the lefty hook.
Horvath now with 8 points, 2 of 6 from the field. He can do that. He can get to the cup, and he scores. He's such a versatile big.
It's such a difficult matchup for most bigs, in particular Mensa. Bigs aren't used to guarding on the perimeter and keeping dribble penetration out of the key.
Bradley. Bairstow has been shadowing him among others, and Bradley misses. It's usually a layup for him, that 16-footer. Mensa backing in. And Horvath, great defense, didn't foul, and has the rebound. Down the lane. Horvath turning, missed it. Butler. And Butler scores. Acceleration. Pulliam not around the screen. Ashworth misses, got his miss, and is fouled by Pulliam.
Brandon Horvath has gotten off to a nice start here in the second half. The skilled 5, put the ball on the deck, making things happen. But Lamont Butler, as quick as they get on the West Coast, we got a good one here at Viejas.
In San Diego and back in the Mountain West we will be on Saturday night. This is a fun one. Utah State, Boise State, CBS Sports Network, 6 Eastern on the tip. Standings tonight, Wyoming has lost to New Mexico. Guess who goes into New Mexico on Thursday night? That would be Colorado State at 10-3. And guess who goes to Air Force tomorrow? That's Boise State. That's a tricky game for sure. New Mexico beat Wyoming tonight. They're at home against Colorado State on Thursday. This is going to be 3 incredible weeks leading into Las Vegas and the Mountain West tournament.
It's going to be a lot of fun following just to see how the seeding plays out going into that tournament. Not really surprised for New Mexico to win because they went into Laramie and it went down to the final couple possessions earlier in the season. So Richard Pitino has the Lobos playing well.
When they're shooting a 3, yeah, they are trouble.
Jalen House.
Bean over Seiko. And Diabate rips down the rebound. Transition, Seiko. That missed by a bunch.
He shot that to the freeway right over east the other way. Not a good shot in transition.
All right, 5 minutes in here, adjustments that you've seen from either side coming out of halftime.
Well, San Diego State, I think, is looking to get Matt Bradley the ball, but on the flip side, Utah State has done a nice job of pushing out every single catch, and I think the other thing for the Aggies is they've really tried to space the floor and allow Horvath to attack the bigs of the Aztecs on the perimeter.
Bean. Bairstow baseline. Horvath, the 3, missed it. And the rebound. Bean had position. Seiko for a rope fouled him. And it's a rope with the foul.
Both teams have been very active on the offensive glass. Being as good as anybody in the country fighting for position.
Even Brian Dutcher today was talking about Bean and how he's everywhere, just like that. You turn your head for a moment, he'll get by you, cut, get the ball, and is headed down the court after a bucket.
It's just the knack for knowing when to cut. A lot of times it's the when. Guys will cut too soon, their opportunities won't be there. They'll cut late. Outside will have taken things away. He just has that sixth sense for when and how to cut.
Ryan Odom wants to run. Rock fires up a wild shot. And here comes Bradley down the floor. And that's not a great pass. And two men go down. Jones and Diabate.
Well, now Bradley, you've got to understand who you're trying to throw the ball to in a small window. Diabate doesn't have the greatest of hands, but then expecting him to catch it on a full speed gallop would be difficult for anybody, let alone him.
Max Shulga in the lineup for Utah State. Bairstow is the primary defender on Bradley, but there's been about 4 guys that have had a shot at him. Not with a lot of success. Bradley step back three.
He just rocks you to sleep with that crossover dribble. Needs some space and then the ability to elevate over the top.
19 for Bradley. Horvath again. Oh, look at Bean. Horvath was trying to reestablish his feet, coming back in bounds, and he did not.
Well, I've been there before where Bairstow is. That's a lonely position as a defender to be when you're isolated against a scorer like that.
The rope. And here we are again. This time it's Shulga. Bradley going, falling away. Being a one-handed rebound. San Diego State has kept this cushion for a while now. Their biggest lead was 11. Utah State not having a good shooting night, just 38%. Tips. And it goes to San Diego State.
These guards of San Diego State, they're active, they're quick on their feet, their hands are always around the ball. That's a constant. If you're going to play Coach Brian Dutcher, you're going to have to be great on the defensive end of the floor.
Just 4 turnovers for San Diego State. That's it. And they've had a really nice night sharing the ball. 12 assists and 21 buckets. Pulliam's back in. Mensa as well. Horvath against Bradley. Baker Mazzara. He gives them offense off the bench. Back to an 11-point lead. Ashworth. Mensa begging for the ball. That's going to drop.
The ball sat up there, 3 or 4 bounces before dropping. Any low post buckets the Aztecs can get from Mensa is a benefit and a bonus. He got the friendly roll there for sure.
The show likes it. Nathan Mensa. Brian Dutcher said, go to the hole in the paint. That'll work. Biggest lead of the game.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef? By AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure. And by the Sonic Patty Melt. For a limited time, only at Sonic.
2021 Mountain West Championship. Matt Mitchell was tournament MVP. There were some pros. The last couple of years, the Sam Merrill shot 2 years ago. That game last year. The resume right now for San Diego State, they're number 48 in the net. The good news for them is they've got a bunch of games against good people. They're at Fresno State, at Boise State. They go to Wyoming. They got Fresno State coming in here. They go to Nevada.
The Aztecs may have the toughest schedule left of anybody in the Mountain West.
And there's NBA players in the last couple of years, right? Sam Merrill, world champion with the Bucks. Namish Keita, I believe, with the Kings right now. And of course, Jordan Shackle getting some run. Malachi Flynn as well in the NBA with the Toronto Raptors. Out of the timeout, biggest lead of the ball game for San Diego State.
Defense has really picked up here in the second half of San Diego State. Nothing coming easy for Utah State.
Rylan Jones, shoulder got to get it up, lost it, another turnover. Another opportunity for Bradley and company. William, look at a rope, my goodness. That's a strong man. Shulga with the foul. Right now, the Aztecs do look like an NCAA tournament team. College basketball on CBS Sports Network is presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. San Diego State a 55-42 lead over Utah State. Still a lot of basketball left. 11 minutes left. Tomorrow night, look at this lineup. Doubleheader in the Big East. Xavier, St. John's at 6:30 Eastern. Number 24 UConn against Seton Hall. And then back to the Mountain West, UNLV and Fresno State here on CBS Sports Network. And a rematch with Seton Hall and UConn. Kadari Richmond, 27 points. I believe he came off the bench for that in that first matchup.
Danny Hurley doing a tremendous job at UConn.
Matt Bradley doing a tremendous job at San Diego State. He's got 19 points, 7 of 14 shooting, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Impressively, San Diego State's turned it over just 4 times tonight. Arope going. Arope scoring.
Not known as a scorer over the course of his career, only averages around 3 points a game, but he's provided a spark here in the second half on the offensive glass. That time, the nice extension to the finish.
Bairstow. Idle Rock, another late clock. Bairstow spinning in the lane, got some distance, and gets it up and in. It's a really nice move by Bairstow. Bradley. That's another offensive rebound by Arope. And it's greeted with appreciation here at San Diego State. They know their Aztecs. They know what they're good at. Mazzara off. Rylan Jones with the rebound. And a flop warning for, I believe, a leg out on the 3.
Baker Mazzara. Flop warning, as you mentioned.
And the Utah State bench isn't happy that it was blown right there because they felt they had it is a flop. They felt they had a transition opportunity, and it's only a warning, yet they blew the whistle, and Ryan Odom was quickly off the bench to point that out. Said, hey, if we got the advantage.
The way I've read the rule and had it explained is the official makes the motion, but if a team has an opportunity in transition, you let that play finish out before blowing your whistle and then going to the scorer's table to make the official call. And the way Utah State has been struggling on the offensive end, they could definitely use an easy 2.
39% from the field right now. They're a much better shooting team than that. Bairstow's just backing in. He's fouled, and he's going to the line. Bairstow family can really play. They're obviously from Australia. Cam was an all-conference player, terrific part of some Mountain West championships at New Mexico. Sean's sister played at Utah State. And rumor has it that mom back home in Australia in the backyard was the best of the group.
She had the shooting touch.
Yeah, well, she could post you up as well. Let's see if Utah State's got a run in them. 9.5 left. The defense has just been outstanding tonight for San Diego State, and they've had enough offense to give them this 12-point lead. Mensah, corner. Baker Mazara with the miss. He kept his leg in that time. Bairstow again gets in deep, and that's an offensive foul. Was that a hook? It was. It was a hook and hold. You could see Baker Mazara grab him by the elbow and pull Bairstow down on top of him.
Utah State would love to have had that one go the other way. I agree with you, Rich. It looked as if Baker Mazara did pull Bairstow down.
And now Horvath will be called for the foul. Now look, in defense of the officials, we watched it in slow motion,
yes.
And it took 2 looks to see that.
But here's the other thing, though, is San Diego State, because they've been so good defensively for so long, the officials understand and know that they're a physical defensive team, and it's just human nature that they will get away with things more often than not.
Really?
Yes.
So, in your days with the Gonzaga Bulldogs,
we played a lot of zone.
And in the NBA, what did you get away with?
The occasional carry. I wasn't known for my defensive prowess, but you also, as a player, have to understand, as Johnson knocks down the free throw, you have to understand where your skill set lies and where your opportunities to impact the game are.
So an occasional carry, that doesn't sound like too bad of an offense. 14-point game, Rock. Lob. It's a little ambitious for Zapala. Johnson. Bairstow again. Boy, they need a bucket. Rock misses. Horvath strips.
The Aztecs guards, their hands are always active and around the ball, poking and prodding.
Zapala got a block. Butler got it back.
And I like this from Butler. You weren't able to convert in transition. Pull it out. Let's see if you can't get an easy look here.
Ooh, collision. Butler and Horvath.
Keshad Johnson bringing the house down. Viejas loved it. That is what you call a big man finish.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. 61-45, San Diego State by 16. And of course, you expect defense here at Viejas.
Oh, and they do it in a number of different ways. Defensively on the perimeter, they'll slide their feet, keep you in front. They'll have active hands. They're willing to take charges. They've got rim protection on the interior with Mensa. But the bottom line with each of those characteristics is they are relentless on that end of the floor.
Field goal percentage for Utah State just 26% here in the second half. If you're just joining us, this is the Mountain West, which has been terrific this year, is getting even better in the next couple of weeks. Wyoming, the #1 team in the conference, went down on the road to New Mexico. Expect more of that in the next 2 or 3 weeks. There's been a ton of overtime thrillers, of last-second shots in the league this year.
And that after Wyoming just cracked the top 25. I believe they came in at 22. They hadn't been ranked since, I believe, the 2015 season with Larry Nance Jr. in that group. But Jeff Linder has done a terrific job in Laramie this year.
You know, Matt Bradley's been watching. He's put up 19 points. Remember, he has a sore ankle. That's a lane violation on San Diego State. Take that free throw away. 7:12 left. There is time, but this defense, I would think it's especially tough on point guards. Jones trying to bring the ball up the floor.
You see Butler picking up 85 feet away from the basket. Great positioning, active hands. Just a simple entry into offense is not easy.
Justin Bean back in the ballgame. Bradley is up, and he's coming in. Next whistle. Brian Dutcher set a tone at practice today. Said, I want the ball inside. I want us getting in the paint and trying to score in the paint. It's an offensive foul. Seiko with that left arm
hooked him as he got by. And Dutcher didn't like the call. That's an easy call for the baseline official. And there you go, right there. That's a no-no.
(61-45). Jones off a pick. Horvath rolls right into a double team. I mean, you get a pick and roll like that, normally you got a lane. There were 2 Aztecs waiting for him.
Yeah, Keishad Johnson that time perfectly rotating early to cause the turnover. Other than his 2 fouls early in that first half, he has been a difference maker. 10 points on the night. 4th time this season he's been in double figures.
You saw those turnovers pop up. Only 5 for San Diego State. 14 now for Utah State.
Utah State now in 2-3 zone.
That would
change the look just a little bit.
As I say, you want a zone? There's your zone buster. 22 now for Bradley. He's hit 4 threes. His eyes got really big when he saw that zone.
Anytime you see a scorer go against the zone, they try to find open space. Bradley found it perfectly that time.
Williams out of bounds. Stays with Utah State.
Well, Horvath was there, but he wasn't there. Defensively, if you're on a scorer such as Bradley, you've got to get into their space.
Bean is so good at that. I mean, everybody knows in San Diego State, that's all they worked on in baseline out-of-bounds defense today is Bean's cuts.
And that's the 2nd time this evening they've scored on that particular baseline out-of-bounds.
Bean has 14 in the game. Pulliam. Jones has the loose ball. Ashworth baseline, gets in and scores. Well, it's at 15 with 5 minutes left. Mensa. Oh, give it right back. And Bean fouls Johnson. We get 2 free throws.
Great recognition from Johnson, understanding that Mensa was getting doubled. And a lot of times if you're the opposite big, cut straight to the front of the rim, make yourself available. That's something Justin Bean, we've talked about tonight, does such a good job of. Keyshawn Johnson at the line for 2.
It feels like San Diego State offensively, and maybe it was Brian Dutcher saying, I want you to attack in the paint. They just seem much more aggressive offensively. They're not a thing of beauty offensively, right? It's not a fluid offense. But when they're attacking and they're pounding it inside, it just feels better.
Yeah, Coach Dutcher will be the first one to tell you that they don't play a pretty style of basketball at all times on the offensive end. They're known for their defense. That's how they're going to, win basketball games. But when you have a scorer like Bradley who can create problems, you're going to have a chance to win games.
Ashworth, shot clock's down. That's a shove. Bradley in the back of Horvath.
He doesn't like it, but that's the correct call from the official. A little nudge, a little push on Horvath. I don't understand as a player how you think that's not a foul. And then you plead your case. You were a baseball player, Rich.
Oh, I never talk to the umpires, Dan.
Argue balls and strikes?
Occasionally. Under 4 minutes left. Seiko had a really nice first half. He added some scoring punch. Hit 2 big threes when they started to build this lead. Pulliam. Johnson! Again. And this is officially a rout. Ashworth. Frustrating night for the Aggies of Utah State, and some revenge tonight for the Aztecs of San Diego State.
Keyshawn Johnson has come up big. Opportunistic dunks. Aztecs looking like an NCAA tournament team.
Not damn Big Al.
I think it's pretty easy. Matt Bradley, the leading scorer of the Mountain West. He needed to be great tonight. He was great tonight. 22 points, 8 of 16 from the field. 4 of those were beyond the 3-point line. And he came in questionable to play tonight with a sprained ankle. I think he was okay.
I think this is a statement game for San Diego State. Not necessarily because they get revenge on Utah State. They've won 3 in a row, have the Aztecs, but they haven't looked great doing it. A 2-point win over Nevada, a 10-point win on the road at San Jose State. They beat Air Force, but it was a game closer than it probably they wanted it. But here in this one, Brian Dutcher's team has dominated on just about every aspect of the game.
They have.
Assists have been terrific. They've shared the basketball, 17 assists, 27 buckets. We've already documented their defense. They've taken care of the basketball. San Diego State has just 5 turnovers in this game.
Well, they're one of the most proud programs on the West Coast. Besides Gonzaga, they have the most win totals over the last 8 to 10 years or so. Typically, you pencil them in for the NCAA tournament at the start of the season. And they are playing with a lot of pride because everybody's talking about the Boise States, the Wyomings now, and it's so much to do because of Steve Fisher and the job that he did just building this program from the ground up.
Coach Fisher seems to be enjoying this one. His son Mark on the staff, I'm sure, happy with this as well. Bean rolls that one down. Justin Bean just keeps playing hard. 16 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover. Ashworth pries it loose. Seiko comes away with it. And he'll run some clock. Again, San Diego State has played fewer games than most of the Mountain West. They've got a lot of opportunities coming up on the road against Fresno State. On Saturday, next Tuesday at Boise State. We've got both of those games here on CBS Sports Network. They go to Wyoming. They go to Nevada, and Fresno State comes in here. Seiko, his third. Bean's three is off. Mensa. Now the Aztecs have to take that show on the road, right? Saturday night at Fresno State. That Tuesday game against Boise State next week will be a real fun one.
It's 50 in the net, and they definitely have opportunities to put their best foot forward to the selection committee.
Stick around when this one's over. We've got Inside College Basketball, a 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Some great highlights. The Villanova-Providence game right before us was terrific. Highlights, updates, maybe a Jerry Palm reference or two. Here at San Diego State tonight, the Aztecs looked really, really good. Offensively, much better. Superb defensively. This is going to be their fourth straight win. They're going to go to 7-3. I don't think that's going to beat the clock. William launched it just as the shot clock was expiring.
Because it's into the shot clock under 2 minutes, they've got an opportunity to go take a look at it.
Nope, not even.
Did not get it off.
Good stroke, though.
But when you look at the Aztecs guards, they got production outside of just Matt Bradley. Adam Seiko hit 2 threes from beyond the arc. Pulliam, although he didn't score it, he did a nice job of dictating and controlling the pace. 3 assists to 1 turnover, and Lamont Butler 4 assists to 1 turnover as well.
You know, Agueka Rope, 8 points, 5 rebounds. The bench points is just terrific. 25 bench points. San Diego State. Utah State, on the other hand, they've got to head to Boise on Saturday night. Tylen Jones hits a 3.
Boise coming off a disappointing home loss to Colorado State. They're a team that ran off 14 in a row earlier this season.
Final minute in San Diego. Aztecs dominated in the paint. Very good from 3, 7 of 14. Seiko. Bean, that's a great catch. And left hand. And Dutcher, Ryan Odom. A game apiece now for these two teams. Utah State beat San Diego State by 18 in late January. And this is the answer from San Diego State on their home court. Mountain West standings updated. Remember, Wyoming lost tonight at New Mexico. Boise State's at Air Force tomorrow. Colorado State's at New Mexico on Thursday. It's getting fun. 75-56. We will wrap it up from the Mesa after this.